very inspired because, he want to be, he has arthritis. So
Yeah.
when he runs, then he feel better than before. So it's
Yeah.
something, is changing, it's making difference to the
woman called Irene. She's 18 and she's living in, or was living in, very, very basic accommodation, sharing a very small room with her 14-year-old brother. And, they didn't have a bed, it wasn't a mattress, it was sort of sleeping on.
Sao is the next Kiptum, and he's the one to run under 2 hours.
Wow.
And we are praying for him, and we are eagerly waiting for him to see racing in London.
Hello and welcome to the Reinventors podcast from Live to Reinvent for a very special episode in what is here in London Marathon Week. I've reconnected with some old friends from Kenya, where I went last year and spent 7 weeks training with the champions in Iten, famous for producing the world's very best runners. Today I talked to Emmanuel and Craig. Craig, like me, visited Kenya with the Kenya experience, and talking to Emmanuel, he realised he could help and set up the foundation, Team Emmanuel, to help train young athletes in this amazing place, not just to be brilliant runners, but to develop their careers and life should running not work out. So what we're talking about today is the reinvention of an entire community, about connection and about people making real impact on people's lives. I hope you enjoy this special episode, and good luck to runners in the London Marathon. What do you think? What's your view of how Iten is and the impact of tourism on Iten?
Well, I just think it's the people that you speak to, the Mzungus, and if you can get to them and say to them that this is what you can do to help, I think people do. But I think too many people just do go and run.
Yeah.
So I think it's, and it can be a small thing, can't it? It can be leaving your kit behind that you've used. I mean, I remember on the first trip I went on, I said to people, I said, look, I've got, like most of us, I've got 3 pairs of shoes, and each pair of my shoes has cost, 150 quid, and and I'm not leaving all 3 pairs, because I need 1 pair.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I'm going to leave 2 pairs, and 1 pair is, has still got a good bit of life in it, and the other pair I probably wouldn't want to run in, but on the other hand, someone, they might not want to run in it, they can use it for walking or getting around and stuff. And then I suppose when we the Kenya experience, do the visits with the Gatimba Foundation, and then you can see there, well, maybe you sponsor a child, and I suppose it's one of those things, it's trying to create, as I think, as you said in your piece before, is that connection, that connectivity.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why, one of the reasons why I go back is, number one, because I enjoy the running, but number two, you make friends and you make connections, and you meet people like Emmanuel, and you can see that
he's making a difference. You're making a difference.
And I suppose it's one of the things which I said to the Timber Foundation when I went last time, is that when we did it was 8 of us, I think. It was a bit of a smaller camp, this one, because of the flights being cancelled for Dubai and Doha and stuff. But I said, I really don't want you to say to the people, oh, Craig has built a house, because, when I'm lucky, I've got access to money, it's £5,000. I mean, which, to build a house is amazing. But on the other hand, most people don't have access to that. So I said, can we just do it more? Look, if you, can, for the price of a cup of coffee a week, you can sponsor someone at school.
Yeah.
£40 a month.
Nothing, is it? It's like,
and it's, which again, maybe not everyone can do it, but a lot of people can. And it's just trying to, perhaps trying to get across to people what, and then what the impact that can have.
I agree. And I think, when I went to Iten, I felt, for one, a bit imposter, because I was a 57-year-old woman amongst champions. And I thought, that I can't just go there and run and think, oh, look, I went to a tournament running. You kind of think you can't just go to a town like that, which is very different to how we live. How there's not even bins on the street. There's a lot of poverty, loads of wealth in other ways, obviously. You can't just go and take. So I think this is what I would call sustainable tourism, where people, if you're going to go to a town which has built itself for a long time on being, creating the best runners in the world and a home for them, you can't just go and think, oh, I'll have a bit of that because I've got, I've paid for a flight and I'm going on a nice trip. You have to be part of the whole thing and contribute, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, as I said to you before, when I say to, I've got two sons, 17 and 20, and I say to them, if you can, you should.
Yeah.
And that might be, might be buying the big issue. It might be, I don't know, getting someone a coffee. I don't know. It can be anything, can't it? And I think, and I think, as we've both said before, is that there's so much negativity and so much awful news out there, and that, we can't necessarily change that. But on the other hand, I think promoting the positive stories out there and making people realize they can have an impact. So I think that, if a couple of people listen to this and they decide they want to do something, then that's fantastic, isn't it?
It really is. And it doesn't, I mean, you've done some great stuff, like relative to the people in Kenya, the money you've contributed is huge, but it doesn't have to be about money. Like you said, you could pay for the price of bringing an extra case with you in the case of Iten and bringing trainers, running club, and you organise that through your club. That takes a bit of time and effort, but it doesn't. That only costs the cost of a case, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And similarly, for me, I don't have tons of resources, but when I was running with Emmanuel, just thinking, what can we do to he's doing such great work here. And when and this is, I'm not giving myself any credit, but when I said to him, why don't we do a crowdfunder for the van? Within 24 hours, we've got 1,500 quid because of who Emmanuel is and because the people who visited knew him and knew what he was doing was good. And then you very kindly topped up the fund to enable Emmanuel to buy the van, which he now uses. So in terms of that, the van and it sort of grew from there, didn't it? I know Emmanuel's going to come back, but we may as well just sort of cover what happened between.
Because what he did initially was that he wanted to repair his existing van, which the money did. And then he repaired his existing van. And then he said to me, oh, my dream would be to get a new van. And when he told me what he was going to do with the van, and this was the thing, is that, when I went back this year, I sat with him and he doesn't have a computer. He had a notepad, and he showed me the notepad is that the new van, he pays a driver to deliver things. And this could be locally, or it could be a long trip to Nairobi, or it could be lots of small trips. And for all of the money that guy then earns in profit, he puts some money towards his family and some money to his, Team Emmanuel, his foundation. And every day and I never asked him to do that, but he said, what you did was you gave to me, but he said, I then need to give something back as well. And, I think the pictures that you've got of his running club, these are young children from the ages of 5 or 6 up until, 14. And they're, he trains with them twice a week, as well as his own, 2 of his children go along and run with them. I mean, it's different
mindset is, there's a very much a community sense of responsibility amongst people I met in Iten. I don't know if you picked up on that you kind of don't just do something for yourself, you do it for the village, and for all the other people. I mean, that's something I don't think I'm sort of seeing things through rose-tinted glasses. Well, certainly with Emmanuel, that's what I saw.
No, absolutely. And I think that, I no longer live in London, but I'm back in London quite a bit, and you see people, on the tube, racing around, in the rat race, and it could be in Brighton, it could be, Manchester, wherever, and people looking incredibly stressed and probably reading the news, watching too much on their phones about the end of the world.
Yeah.
And you go to Kenya and you see that people are living, very basic and quite simple lives, but, getting by and quite happy, and I think that we can learn a lot from, perhaps that sort of, appreciating what you've got.
Yeah.
Appreciating your community.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. I mean, sorry to interrupt, but I saw it when I was in Kenya. I heard the fire engines one night, and you didn't hear alarm. You didn't hear that in Kenya, so it was like, wow, what's that? I hear every day. I hear sirens going off here. And I said to Emmanuel the next day, God, what was going on? He said, oh, there was a fire in the shop down the road. And he said, and Emmanuel said to me, it was brilliant. All the villagers came out, and he said, we literally handed buckets to each other. And he really liked that. He said it was lovely that we all got together and we all put the fire out, and the fire engines were there. And it was a kind of, I suppose it's a way of living that's dead, gone in a lot of communities in Europe and in the West. And, what they're lacking in actual money, they still have the community, they still have that connection. And, there's a kind of giving mentality, like for Emmanuel to think, right, I'm going to give back to these kids. And he told me lots of stories about his own coaching experience, about the coach he went to see who bought him trainers when he first came to Iten, because he got worn his trainers out so much he got injured, and bought him his kit. So there's a lot of that goes on. Similarly with the I'm having a brain fog moment, but the guy who's potentially going to break 2 hours in London.
So
yes, so he's had support from his coach. Okay, the Italian guy who's helping him and willing to invest time into people. I think that's the difference. And Emmanuel's doing that with the children.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think it's and I think that what he wants to do, which I think is really impressive, is that obviously you've got there's the young people that he's running with, and some of those will, possibly be able to, maybe win a race locally and could possibly get sponsorship, and that's one avenue. Another avenue is that maybe, and that's the David Beckham or the, Kipchoge, who could make it, but that's going to be very rare.
Yeah.
And obviously the other avenue maybe is that they may then be able to run and get a qualifying time to get sponsorship in the US. And I think that quite a few students have gone on to study in America with full scholarships, because obviously the universities there, they're in very big competitions and that they want the best athletes.
Yeah.
I met one young woman whose name is Ruth, and she wants to get a nursing qualification in the US, but then she wants to come back to Kenya. She said, I want to come back, and then I want to be able to, give back to my community and with the skills that I've learned. Then the other, obviously, maybe you won't make it for either of those. So another avenue possibly could be to, be the pacers and maybe take part in local races, earn a little bit of money. But then what Emmanuel wants to do with those people is to do workshops with them and help them set up businesses. Because the idea then is that, the same with, football in Europe, only very, very small percentage of people are going to make a career out of that. And it's to make sure that, they keep their education going, that they, and if they don't, find a career through running, then he wants to help them through workshops to, do financial planning, and maybe set up their own business. And I think that's something which, again, I don't think anyone has come up with a, oh, you need to do this. It's almost, he's seen it.
Yeah.
He's coming to the end of his running career.
Yeah.
He's looked at things that he can do, and I think he wants to help others do that, which is brilliant.
He's lived it. And I mean, ironically, him coming to the end of his running career, is he still aiming for 2:10?
Yeah, in Frankfurt. Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing that people, anyone who knows anything about running will know that 2:10 is a winning time here. Like some of the guy who won Brighton Marathon, I think it was 2:20 or something, was really good. But and Emmanuel's one of many who run that sort of time in Iten and around surrounding areas. And running is the whole framework for the culture, isn't it? So in kind of setting up other opportunities for people, because is a great thing, because I know, speaking to people in Kenya, it's a bit all or nothing for a lot of those young people.
Yeah.
Isn't, young lads who want to be Beckham here will be able to do something else. There's not a question of that. But for the young lads and women in Kenya, it's a real risk. If things don't work out, they can end up, as Emmanuel told me, some of them turn to booze. They go off to, it hasn't worked out for a lot of people. So he's seen that.
Oh no, absolutely. And I think that, it could be just an injury, couldn't it? I mean, it's these dirt roads. You can easily, twist an ankle or whatever else, and that might put your running back greatly. So
yeah, well, Craig, because I did. I ended up with stress fracture, but I did run a good 5K time. I'm guessing Emmanuel's gone out to the town to ask somebody for the laptop.
I mean, I went to visit where he lives with his wife and 3 kids, and certainly it was, I mean, I don't want to be patronising, but certainly very basic where he lives, and he's doing pretty well. But
I know what you're saying. Compared to, I mean, we live in such bubbles and we don't realise it. It's only when you go outside of your bubble and you realise not everyone has a regular income or a guarantee of food or education, and that in that part of the world, particularly, running is the way out, isn't it? It's not just what you do to have a nice medal and,
Oh no, definitely. I mean, shall I perhaps, well, we've got the time, is talk about the first house that I saw?
Yes, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
So I first went to Iten in March 2024. On the wrong side of 50, but I love running, and I'd heard about the way that the Kenyans run and train, and I heard about this company called the Kenya Experience. So I went for 2 weeks in March 2024, and absolutely loved it. And the Kenya Experience, they have a partnership with a local charity called the Gatimba Foundation, and they support people or young children through school, through sort of school fees and sponsorship, but also they look at children who are performing well in school, but they realise that may have issues at home, and so they have a social worker who goes out, and a lot of the time they realise that these children are living in, really, really very basic and quite really sort of, really tough conditions.
Yeah.
And so, it will be, living in a shack where, there's one room and you're sleeping on the floor with maybe like a rag, the mum and dad and maybe 2 or 3 children. And they cook in that room as well. And this is, a wooden fire where they're sort of heating up, to cook rice or maize and things. And so the smoke in those rooms are just awful.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went to visit a family, and we saw this shack, and one of the young boys who lived there.
I'm going to just admit, Emmanuel, and I'll explain that you're telling. We'll come back to this because this is an important story. Hi, Emmanuel.
Hello, Edwin has helped me from HTC.
Excellent. Well done, Edwin. He's a good guy.
Good. Come on.
Oh, hello.
This is the guy helped me.
Edwin, good to see you, my friend.
Edwin.
Hi, Edwin. How are you? Good. Thank you for saving the day. We can hear Emmanuel perfect.
Edwin has the best hug in all of Kenya. He's the man who gives me the good hugs.
Oh. Thank you, Edwin.
Okay.
Good, nice.
I
hear you very well.
And I can hear you. This is perfect. So, but it's nothing's lost, because Craig's been telling me about his experience, and he was just explaining about What are the houses? If you pick up from where you left off, and we'll just hear that story, Emmanuel, and then we'll go back on to talking to you. So Craig's just talking about the work that's been done on the houses. So over to you, Craig.
Yeah, so when I was there in March 2024, the Timber Foundation took us along to sort of a small village, and they said this would be the conditions that some people live in. And it was this shack and, one room. And the young boy in there was called Nathan. And just by coincidence, we've got two boys, and our youngest son is Nathan himself. And I went back to the accommodation that we were in the Kenya experience, and I cried. I cried in my room because I just thought that could have been my son. And it's just by luck, my son was born in London. This Nathan was, our Nathan was born in London, and this Nathan was born in Iten and was living in these conditions. And I phoned my wife and I said, there must be something that we can do. And we're lucky, we'd got some money from a sort of a share sort of scheme at my work, which sort of, I don't know, the money was much more than I
worked very hard as well.
Yeah, and we, we were able to fund the building of a house, and I think that, Nathan went on to have his own room, and sort of have a house which they built in 3 or 4 weeks, and it's wouldn't be a house that maybe that you would recognise in Europe, but this was a house which was really sort of like a real firm structure, and was great. I then spoke to some of the runners on the camp, and we ran the Lisbon half marathon, and we built a second house, which was fantastic. And when I went back in March 2025, I saw that house, and then I went back in March 2026, and again I spoke to the charity and said, is there maybe another family that we can help? And there was a young woman called Irene. She's 18, and she's living in, or was living in, very, very basic accommodation, sharing a very small room with her 14-year-old brother. And they didn't have a bed. It wasn't a mattress. It was sort of sleeping on the floor. But despite all of that, she was the best student in the county, and she had amazing marks. And they've, through the charity, we've built a house. She now has her own room. She has a desk, and I met with her and her family, and she wants to be a neurosurgeon. She said, and a very confident young woman. She's achieved these results from, I don't know how, to have where she was living previously. So now, and we've spoken, and, she wants to possibly try to get a scholarship in the US. And, she's never been on a plane before. She's never left Kenya before, but she's got dreams, and also she's got the ambition, and clearly has got the drive. And I think that, and I think really what I realized was that, you can really have an impact. And I think that, when I first went to Kenya in 2024, I met with Emmanuel, and I think he's someone who's become a friend of mine, very close friend. And he shows, what this idea of giving back to the community. And I think that he's someone who's become someone I've become close to, and someone who's now setting up his own foundation, Team Emmanuel. So, and I think he's the star of the show today, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, Craig, you both are, but Emmanuel, we're really glad that you've got the sound and you're here. And I've seen the pictures of Team Emmanuel. And just tell us, since I left Kenya, what's been happening with it? Because I know you were already coaching the kids there, but tell us a little bit about what's happening now at Team Emmanuel.
Okay. Okay, great. So I can say it is because of you, Fiona, and Greg, that made me, to do more. When I share with you about the van that, I bought my van because, young upcoming athletes need a lot of support, going to Moiben and other places.
Yeah.
And, in my heart, in my plans, I was planning to, I was saving the money to
Yeah.
buy another more good van, so which could take me 4 years. But through you and Greg, you made it, just a week.
Well, I
Then,
think, and there was loads of all the people who met you through the Kenya experience were nobody. There was quickly, yeah, of course, we're going to support Emmanuel because they knew you and what you do. So, and I'm really pleased it's worked that way. And you've made it happen. You've made. I mean, you told me what was it? There was a teacher in your family. Or you were going to tell me about the teaching element of you, because I remember.
First my dad wanted me to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Then I refused. I was a good runner. I have passion in running. I'm talented. So, I follow my passion. Then I came to Iten by my own.
Yeah.
Then, I supported myself, do manual jobs here and there. Then after 4 years, that is 2018, then I went to Oredo half marathon, and I won the race, half marathon.
Amazing.
Where I did my 61 in half marathon.
61.
Yeah, and then my dad was pleased, and he apologized for not supporting me, and then said, just follow what your heart says.
Yeah.
And then also after advising and coaching young upcoming athletes, so I told him this is part of teaching. I'm a teacher also as well. Being a coach is teaching. Yeah.
You are. It's great. You're doing both things. You're a runner and a teacher.
Exactly. And then on the story about why now I have the kids, it's because of the the support that you supported me. I got so I leaned on someone like you and and Greg. Then also because now I have the two fans. Then I thought about getting steady income, for fueling and the rest. Then with the new one, I got it's working now. It's delivering goods from Eldoret to Ravine. It's another town. Then I get some money from the van. That's where now for fueling. You saw I was with Team Emmanuel yesterday. We traveled with to Gibson track. That's around 6 kilometers. So it's because of the new van. I get the money from there. The clothes, the shoes that I bought them. It's because of the new van. So I was much motivated because I have that heart of caring to the community. And now what? I'm 37 years old. So almost my running will just go down like this. So what will I do after that? So just give back to the community. That's what I'm doing.
Well, you're doing it already, aren't you? And there's so much to talk about, but just on your running, actually. So you did your 61-minute half marathon.
Yeah.
I know you've got a marathon coming up, so just a little bit about your running and your training would be interesting to people, particularly as we've got the London Marathon coming up.
Yeah.
So tell people what a real runner does.
Okay. So as a Kenyan elite runner, so I think I have around 6 months to the race.
Yeah.
So I'll start my training block from next month. I think I'd share this with Greg. Yeah. So from next month, I'll do a lot of easy runs, a lot of mileage. So it's mileage over time.
Yeah.
I will with a lot of strength training. And then after about 3 months, then now I incorporate now with fat legs, with tempos, long speed. Then a month to the race, then there'll be a lot of, long speed and speed on the track.
Yeah. And you go to the Moyben Road, which myself and Craig had the privilege to go and run on. But that's a famous place where you might do your long, speedy run. Would I be right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's after 2 to 3 months.
Yeah. And your long, speedy run is how far and how speedy?
Sorry?
How long would that be, and how fast would you run? Say if you do 40 kilometers is what you might do in the last month?
Yeah. So
in what, a 3-something pace per kilometer?
No, 420 to 400 at past 40 kilometers. So I'll be sharing on my Instagram.
Yeah, that's good.
That's on increasing. My brain is different from Iten. So first I'll start with the hard courses like Iten, going down the valley and half. So my brain is later towards the race.
Yeah. But it's a famous.
Maybe I'll do 310, 315, 320, 330 there at my brain. Yeah.
And you're aiming for sub 210.
Yeah, sub 210. Yeah, 210 or sub 210. Yeah, that's I'm aiming for that.
And
No.
Kate and I were just talking about how that, you know, in Kenya, that's not unusual, but it's obviously very top level. But in the Europe, that's very, very top level. Like people win races with that. So it's quite incredible.
Okay, in Kenya for 210 and 29, 28, 215 is an average runner. So there are more champions more than me.
That's so funny. And actually, we will come back to the community and what the work you're doing, but just a little bit about the London Marathon. And you're local to, I saw Toby Tanser, who I met.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, he wrote the article about, I can never, it's Soya, isn't it? Yeah, he's Sebastian Soy.
Sour.
Oh, yeah, I knew I said it wrong. Do you think he has the potential to run sub 2 hours?
Yeah, he's the next Kelvin Giptum. So what we are hoping and what we are, you know, we are, if you come to the Iten community, they'll tell you Sao is the next Giptum and he's the one to run under 2 hours. Wow. And you're praying for him, and we are eagerly waiting for him to see racing in London. And
so where will you be watching the race? Will Team Emmanuel, the boys, will you get together to watch the race, do you think?
Yeah, we'll work together. We'll work together at the Oasis Lilies Hotel. I think I share with you.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of athletes there, you know. So I'll be there fast, you know, maybe before the race. Otherwise, if I go late, then I'll miss the sitting.
Yeah, it's exciting. And for the boys who you're coaching, their age, it's not just boys, is it girls as well you coach?
Yeah, mostly boys. I think we have around 4 girls. The rest are boys.
And how old? They're between 7 and 16, is that right?
Yeah, the oldest is 7, and then the youngest is 7, and the oldest is 16.
Wow. So they're going to see sub 2 hours on the TV. So they're going to be aiming for that, aren't they?
Yeah, sure. And, you know, they are inspired. Like in my, like the captain, there's a lady called Becky. Yeah. So she, you know, her mom told me that since she was young, she was saying, I want to be like Mary Kay. So seeing elite athletes, they are more, you know, they encourage them and, you know, they inspire them. Inspire them. Yeah.
It's amazing. And what sort of training do you do with the boys? How often do you take them to train, and what do they do in terms of their training? Because they're young.
Okay, so now is they have an holiday of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so far we have done with 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm closing the camp next week on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So during holiday we meet almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and during school days, we meet only on weekends.
Yeah.
So, and their training is basically a lot of easy runs. And like now, I have proper training with them. Like yesterday, we were on the track. We are doing 100 meters. Time is 10 times.
How many? 10 times? Yeah.
10 times. 10 times. Then recovery is just run the curve 200 meters. Then repetition for 10 times.
That's amazing. Craig, you remember?
Oh yeah, no, I was very lucky to meet the Team Emmanuel, the kids, and you know, Emmanuel spoke to me about the kit, and together we've been able to get them tracksuits, which I think are in the pictures that that we sent to you. You know, and these you know, the kids come from quite distances around. You know, sometimes Emmanuel goes to pick them up, sometimes they run or walk there, and it gives them a real feeling of togetherness and sort of membership. The fact now they've got their kits as well, and as I said to Emmanuel, I mean, I was really impressed that Becky, you know, as a young woman, is the captain, because you know Kenya is still quite a patriarchal society, and Emmanuel said it's really important that and she's great. You know, Becky she's the captain of the team.
That's brilliant. And your little girl, Emmanuel, how old is she now?
She's 3 years old.
Oh,
I think she's the youngest. Yeah, and
she'll be the captain.
I think I'll order training suit for her. she's requesting every now and then I'll do for her.
Oh,
Whenever she sees the boys having, so she's very inspired by what I'm doing and what the boys are doing.
Yeah,
so,
I bet. And of your boys, have you got any little rising stars there? Are your boys also like you? They like running?
My boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian is a great athlete, and by the time he will be around 12 years, 13, he'll be somewhere.
Yeah,
it's good.
Brian's your oldest, yeah?
Sorry?
Brian's your oldest son.
Yes, oldest is almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So July he'll be 10 years.
Wow. Okay. Well,
then Jaden is the youngest in the group.
Oh, Jaden's in the group as well.
He's the youngest. He's the youngest, 7 years.
Oh, I remember them both, very different characters, and you could see, like, Brian, I thought was more serious, and Jaden's like,
yeah. He just want to be a pilot. And then, he's just motivated by what I'm doing, and Brian. Otherwise, he's not good at running.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I love that. So nice that you and in terms of, Craig was telling me that you're helping, because you've had the experience of what it's like. It's not easy, is it, to become a really good runner? I mean, you were injured last year yourself.
Yeah.
So you're setting up Team Emmanuel to, like, you're also talking about helping people who maybe don't make it to the top level. You've coming up with some plans. Tell me about some of the things you're doing to help those runners who may not make it, and what you can do for them.
So that's why I've started the Team Emmanuel Foundation.
Yeah.
Then the foundation, when it's closed, then I'll be having some seminars. Then maybe to teach those who don't make it in athletics, maybe to just do other things like entrepreneurship. Maybe they can go to the coaching classes. They should not only depend on running, maybe do other things.
Yeah.
Like maybe have a shop, coach, maybe be a therapist, such kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of the visitors who come to Iten, do you feel, because you've got world champions from all over the world who come to train, but you've also got the likes of me.
Yeah.
You've got people who aren't quite world champions. What's the sort of pros and cons, do you think, of having visitors to Iten? I mean, I guess you've got people to massage, but is there anything else that you would like them to do when they visit?
Yeah. Like, when visitors come to Iten, I think we have a lot of advantages. Like, I have the pacing team with the Kenya experience.
Yes.
They are paid.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm paid by the Kenya experience. So it's because of the guests outside. Also, the businesses in Iten, the groceries, the shops, they are growing because of, the guests visiting Iten. So, there are a lot of opportunities. The guest houses that are built in Iten. Iten is growing very much because of the guests visiting. Yeah. So I think I also having a lot of camps. Like the Javed who was my pesa is now working as a manager at Ranex. Employed. So that's good. You remember him?
I do remember him. Yeah. And so
now he's earning a very good, decent money. He has built a very good house. They are in Iten. So very good things coming, when we have visitors.
I mean, it would be, I think, as a visitor, I think we should be responsible. We're getting a lot from coming to Iten. We're with the best runners in the world, and I feel like, Craig, we should be doing something to not just coming away and going, I'm running with the best. We have to be part of the community whilst we're there. And when you're talking about the businesses that for the young people, there's potential in the global world with internet and everything. There is potential to offer that up to Team Emmanuel people. I'm just putting that out there. There's ways of getting people other opportunities if running doesn't happen, I guess. What do you think, Craig? Is that
No, definitely. And I think it's something that Emmanuel and I spoke about, is that, he's going to want to work on his website. He's going to want to work on sort of marketing. And these are some skills that people can offer from Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, there's, I've been really impressed with all of the work that he's done with the community. But obviously, there's more that can be done, and it's not just about money. It can be about sort of supporting his business and his charity. Like I said, with marketing skills, with website. I mean, I know that quite a few people that have run with Emmanuel before have looked at ways that they can help, and one of the things was through running shoes. And I think you get called the shoe man, don't you, Emmanuel? You were telling me.
Yeah, I'm the shoe man in Iten. Yeah.
Well,
and to tell you a good news is that there is a lady also from Chile.
Yeah.
That want to support me to bring a lot of running kids, and there is someone coming in called Steve in October. So she's gonna bring a lot of stuff for the kids. So I'm happy for that. Kids, and not only the kids, larger community.
I mean, it's important. I remember running with you, Emmanuel, on a Saturday morning, and we ran past some young boys, probably teenagers, and one of them was wearing sliders and probably, like flip-flops, and going bombing along.
Just in the forest, I remember.
Yeah. And I was Jesus, he's wearing sliders and running at a good old pace. So even though trainers, you might get a lot of trainers, you're going to need them because their feet grow. And when you're running a lot and on that sort of terrain, you need lots of shoes, don't you?
Exactly. Like for me, I need new shoes every 3 months.
Yeah. And a lot of people do here. We run half of what you run.
Okay.
I don't run anything. So tell me, and now about your race, it's Frankfurt, for the marathon. And it's 6 months starting next week, going for that 2:10. You're injury free at the moment?
Yeah, I'm injury free. So I'm ready to start the blog next month.
Wow. And that's a full commitment. So as well as doing Team Emmanuel and organising the deliveries and having 3 children, you're going for it on the 6 months training block.
Yeah.
So we can watch you. For anyone who's interested, they can look out for Emmanuel and follow you on Instagram as well. It's Emmanuel Bundo Teach, yeah?
That's how you teach. Yeah.
I'll write it down in the notes so that people can follow you. Because, I mean, in the short time I was in Kenya, I learned such a lot from you about running and about one of the, Craig as well. I'm guessing, Craig, you've done a really great time, haven't you, as a result of being in Iten?
Yeah, no, I'm mid-50s now. I'm not going to be on any podiums or breaking any world records, but certainly the running with the champions in Kenya has really helped. And I think, I ran with Emmanuel. I mean, for Emmanuel, it's a jog. He's hardly breaking a sweat at all. But the advice that he and the coaches give, which I think is something which I've learned a lot from, which is, I think too many of us, particularly as we get a little bit older, we just run at the same pace. And that's not going to get us any quicker. In fact, we're going to get slower. And I think what they've shown me in Kenya is, twice a week, you run a bit quicker. So it might be on the track or it might be doing sort of fartlek. And then on your slow runs, you need to be going really slow. I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's, so to have that sort of two quite different sort of paces, the faster one, which, I'm not that speedy, but you're pushing yourself on the track or sort of doing intervals. And then on your slow long run, it should be really conversational pace, and it's, the stretching, the massage, and eating properly, sleeping well, it's not, I remember that a very good friend of Emmanuel's, who's one of the guys who runs the camp, Willie, at the end of each sort of session, when people leave, he says, you've come here and you wanted the secrets of Kenyan running. He said, there isn't really a secret.
Yeah.
It's about running. It's about discipline, and the thing that I loved about it, and I think is that, just that sort of companionship and that solidarity, that feeling that you're running together. And I think if anyone can, it's not, once you get to it and you're not spending much money at all, the flights, okay, particularly with the situation in Iran and stuff, the flights have gone up in price, but it's not a huge cost really. Rather than going for 2 weeks to Spain or Greece, go to it and you won't spend any money when you're there. and you'll come back and you'll feel, I think people said to me since I've been back, they said, you look younger, you look better.
I'm going to get back.
They said, they were expecting you to come back tired. And I was like, no, I've come back. I feel, I've, really sort of enlivened and, more energy. So I've already booked to go back next year. And I'm already talking with Emmanuel about more that we can do to support him and, his fantastic foundation, because, what he does and the way he gives back is something else, something that we can all learn from.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest lesson from today's call, it is that I want to share with other people. But also, as we have spoken about running, and we've spoken about some of the ways of training, Pole being a big one for me as well. It's London Marathon week next week, and I'll be sharing this podcast then, and I'd like to give some people from one of the best runners they'll ever meet, or I'll ever meet, is you, Emmanuel. Any kind of like race day tips, like about how to, when you get up in the morning, how to approach it? Is there anything you would do? Any top tips you would share for marathon day people?
Yeah, I think the tips that I can give you is just before that morning. So just maybe take your training kits, put the what do you call this?
Pins.
The keep.
Yeah.
Be calm, take your time, sleep well, don't think about too much. Just think about finishing that 42 kilometers. Think about positive vibe. Think about, your friends. Think about your good, your good marathon, your good training program.
Yeah.
When you're in good shape, So don't think about negativity. Be positive always. Keep telling your boy, your soul, Fiona, go for it. I'll go for it. I've been doing things for the last, maybe 4 to 6 months. So I'm ready to face it. Yeah. Just be courageous. Go for
you
it.
were in my mind in Brighton on Sunday. Fiona.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Actually, do you know what? One of the things I picked up from you, Emmanuel, and I think it's a life lesson, is about being relaxed and, not letting things, just not getting too stressed.
Exactly.
That's something I noticed with you. And I think that will, as a coach, that will be brilliant for the boys that you're coaching. Do you think, like, I see that this podcast that I do is about reinvention, about making changes. And do you see how the community of Iten is having a change, but in a, it's a lot changing in the town? Can you see the positives from that change? What's the outcome of all this input from the likes of Craig, from your school? That's a very long-winded way of saying, I think you're reinventing your community and making it even better. I mean, I'm just making a statement. I'm not asking a question. But in terms of what you think you're doing for the community, have you seen positive changes from the group, from the boys training, and what you're doing? Can you see differences?
Yeah. I see that a lot of different. The boys and the girls, they're very smart. They have been improving. And then their parents, I have a very good support from them. So, and, the boys, they look more disciplined than before.
Yeah.
And, and also, is healthy-wise, they are very healthy. Even the other community, apart from my boys.
Yeah.
The other, even my mother wants to run. He's very inspired because, he wants to be, he has arthritis. So when he runs, then he feels better than before. So it's something, is changing, it's making difference to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's Craig and Emmanuel, I think that's the thing that you've done. You've made a difference, not to one person, but a whole community and people beyond, in like the likes of me, all the people who visit. We are getting a massive thing from coming to Kenya, from experiencing what you as elite athletes do. I personally got so much from it. So, I really thank you for your time and what you're doing. And I'm going to keep following your story.
Exactly.
And Craig.
Oh, no, definitely. I think it's going to take a little while to set up, but once Emmanuel gets his website set up, I think that, people can sponsor, children, and it's not, for the cost of a coffee a week, this can pay the school fees in Kenya. You know, and Emmanuel took me along to the school for the deaf for hearing impaired children. You know, and I met two young people there. You know, and again, you know, I won't be drinking coffee. I'm instead going to be paying for their school fees.
Exactly.
You know, and it's not it's you know it's not you know, me not drinking coffee is not a hardship. You know, and this is going to enable two children for their school fees. So I think that, you know, you can have a huge impact on people's lives. You know, and it can be, you know, relatively small for us, but it can have a huge impact in Kenya. And I think that, you know, one of the reasons why I get on so well with Emmanuel is that I trust him, and I know that every penny, you know, every shilling that goes to Kenya, it's going to have an impact. And I think that I know many people now, they get a little bit distrustful of the big charities and you know, the Red Cross and the UN and whatever else, which, you know, may be a little bit unfair, but I can understand it. Whereas if you're giving money to the grassroots and it goes direct, you know that every penny and every shilling will go. You know, and I think I said to Fiona, Emmanuel, that you know, you show me the plans that you've got in your notebook, you know, and the money that you get for the deliveries from the van. I mean, you give half back to the community, you know, and this is just, you know, it's fantastic to see, you know, and this wasn't something which anyone asked you to do, but you just felt that you had that almost sort of, you know, that was something that you felt that you wanted to do, you know, and it was something that I think is you know, a real testament to you, and it's something that we can learn a lot from in Europe.
Absolutely. I think that's brilliant. And as someone who was invited to a wedding of one of Emmanuel's family, I know that it's a brilliant community. They were so lovely. I had such a nice time and met great people. And I just hope that this work continues. And anyone who's listening, to just have a look when your website's up and running. Have you got anything yet, or is it still early days?
It will be ready in 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time, then we can share it on media, and we can share it wherever we share this as well. But just keep following the story, because this is a story that we could be watching the sub 2 hour marathon runners of the future from Team Emmanuel. So keep an eye on what's happening. And Team Emmanuel, I'm looking forward to seeing if I'm still knocking around to see them finish on a new end.
Yeah, and I want to tell you something that you know, now Team Emmanuel with the new tracksuit, is very different, and you know, a lot of people are saying, which school is this, you know? So I'm happy. Thank you, Craig and Fiona, for, you know, if it's not for you, then you know, I couldn't have not done this. So I'm happy that the community at large love it, and you know, I'm creating a lot of, you know, together an impact to the society. So thank you very much.
No, you're a role model, Emmanuel. So thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll share a picture of the boys in the lovely tracksuits, which I have to say look very nice. And keep up the good work, Emmanuel. Thank you, Craig, both of you, for your time. And I'm really glad we got the sound stuff sorted. It was great. Thank you to Edwin.
Yes,
and I'll stop the recording, and I'll let you know when we're all live.
Excellent. Speak to you later.